This is like, is this one of the biggest you've done?
Yeah, it's twice or more the size of what I normally do.
Mm-hmm. He's 20 inches tall.
But then occasionally I'm known to get carried away.
No, come on.
No, I enjoy doing these things oversized, to tell you the truth. It's, in fact, it's almost like taking a break to do one of these bigger pieces because, you know, I have a larger palette to work with, and the intricacy of the little details and everything, you know, I don't have to, you know, be as involved with that. I can be a little looser and a little and create something like this in this scale that's very effective. And you know, in each one of these, there's a lot of detail in different ways. You know, like like the Santa here, you've got the one thing that I did in both of them, I sort of tie them together, because once again these two I created at the same time. They both share this monochromatic decoration of fairly elaborate, you know, rose mauling inspired things. In this case, it's got the, you know, the holly leaves and the berries and so forth, and it's in a single color that's been embellished by the dry brushing and the floating and the glazing and all that kind of stuff. And then down here, the quilt pattern that I selected, and I've cataloged roughly 5,000 different quilt patterns that are symbolic of something.
5,000.
Yeah.
All symbolic. Okay, so
in other words, it's not just squares and patches.
Sure.
It's a design, and it might be.
They tell stories, don't they?
It might be grandmother's flower basket, or it might be the bear claws, or it might be the flying geese, or the drunkard's path.
There you go.
So it tells all kinds of stories, and so I try to select something that is, you know, relevant to the piece I'm working on. Not always, but if I can, I do. And in this case, this particular pattern is, and the quilters out there will recognize this. This has several names, and two of the names that this is known for is the winter garden or the Christmas flower. And people out there, but it forms an interesting sort of an optical illusion in that if you concentrate on looking at this sort of wreath type shape here, and you know, in its, you know, grouping, then that is exactly what you will focus on, and that's what you'll see. If on the other hand you start focusing on the pinwheel squares and its, you know, patterning, then that's what you see, and the wreath things will be in the background. It's an optical thing that a lot of quilters, you know, do that sort of thing in their designs, and I've always thought it was interesting.
And you bring
and
that
so
art.
So you got it here.
Because you've been inspired by these patchwork quilts for so long.
And then the front of it is in high relief, and this sort of opens up the front of the thing and shows in high relief a fairly detailed rendition of a, you know, Christmas tree with all the detailing and the candy canes and all that stuff, and the presents down below, and the star at the top.
And which illuminates, which is something that we don't always see in your pieces. So here's our QVC2 big deal, your only big deal that you're doing all year. And these are Jim's oversized figurines. You have loved his figurines for about 17 years. You collect them. We have it for you available in two options. We went through the detail of this gorgeous Santa. Look at the tree built within his robe, the presents at the bottom of the tree, and again, holding the illuminated star, 20 inches in height, richly detailed, made out of resin, which really is just the look of carved wood, but we don't have to baby this because it's resin. We'll talk more about that. I also want to let you know we have the angel choice as well. Many of you collect his angels. You've loved this, and this one we're starting to get limited now because we kicked this off last night at 9 o'clock, and I know a lot of you set your clocks, you joined in, and we went through half of our quantity of what we've brought in. Look at how the angel's robe tells the story of that fateful night.
Well, that's one thing that I like to do, is I like to use angels, which are probably, as a subject, my favorite subject. And I always have at least one angel or a grouping of angels in the studio at any given, you know, time that I'm working on. And I think it's a wonderful sort of a backdrop for storytelling, which is what I love to do. And in this case, I've done sort of my signature, approach to it, and that is I've taken the angel, and the angel is in a styling that is very mild, very subdued. As you can see, once again, I've got this tight, sort of flowing, rose malling inspired design on here in a single color, which happens to be Jerusalem blue. That was the color I selected for this. And then it showcases with a gold framing the Holy Family in somewhat simple forms, because I like to depict the family as simple, simple because they were. And so that's, and with the star up above, and there you go.
All right, so here's the thing. A big deal is our star product of the day.
Right.
This is the final presentation. It's something we think you should have. We know you will love. If you're a Jim Shore collector, you probably already purchased yours. But if you haven't yet, know that this is a QVC2 big deal price of $72. This is oversized, so each are 20 inches, one of the largest he's ever done. And it's on 4 easy payments, so you can break up the price, pay over time, get it home. You will have this home now to appreciate, and maybe you already put out the angel because you have angels all around your house. That sign of protection, somebody looking out for you, the faith. Or you get the Santa home, and as soon as you're ready to decorate, whether that's October, whether it's November 1st, the day after Thanksgiving, or 1st of December, here it is for you to enjoy. H21984 is your item number. Now, what a lot of people are doing is taking advantage of the auto delivery offer.
That's such a terrific
I'm
thing.
going to move over here because I absolutely adore these. You were with Alberti last night.
I was.
And he was teasing it while I was doing another show, and I saw the black cat.
I know.
And I started almost squealing because I have black cats. I have 3 of them. This is what you'll get with the auto delivery. You'll get 2 more figurines after holiday time. So for Halloween, come October, this magical black cat with a witch's cat because of the broom, the witch's hat, or maybe a wizard's hat. I don't know. Jim,
Now,
tell me, what were you thinking?
That's a witch's hat.
Witch's hat, okay.
Yeah, okay. Settle that.
Jim.
And now, if you turn that around
Okay.
carefully, you'll see one of my favorite parts of it, and you see the design on the cape.
What is that?
And
I see stars and a moon, very
and
celestial.
It's all thorn work, and it's that evil part of the thing. And see the color. I love the color.
Oh, what, the purple with the
yes.
grays, and look at, here's the cat's tail.
I guess it's no surprise that I love that color.
Because you're wearing purple tonight, and the touches of purple even within the gourd, the pumpkin that the cat is sitting on. So again, this is what will come then with your auto delivery purchase. This will come to you in October for Halloween. Probably get it at the end of September, more likely. And then you get one more. At this price, at this easy pay, that's what you lock in with auto delivery, you get our Easter bunny. Look how handsome and debonair, and I was talking to you about top hats, and yes, Jim has been known to wear a top hat.
That is the most complex piece of the collection, actually.
Well, look at the detail in the eggs alone and the flowers of the
I
basket.
love the thought of this thing being a grouping all held together. And of course, if I was doing it, that's the way I'd do it, because the way we decorate at the house, we could use all of these pieces. And there's something that are grand about the scale of these things. But when you look at that piece and you look at the flowers and the eggs and the detailing on the rabbit itself, each one of those elements is a project all by itself. Look at the basket, the texture on the basket. That's not done by accident. Each one of these things is thought out, the spacing and everything like that, the execution.
Even the braiding on the handle of the basket. You spared no expense and detail. I'm just going to turn it around so everybody can take a look.
Yeah, it's an elaborate piece.
Oh, wow. I love the colors here.
We've even got some snow on it for the season. Just kidding.
Now, we'll send this to you in March time, so you have it for Easter. I want you to know with auto delivery, while you lock in the savings of the big deal price of your Santa or Angel, and you lock in the easy pay, you can cancel anytime. If for some reason, you're just happy with the Santa or the Angel, you can cancel. You're happy after the black cat. you can cancel and then just keep those 2 pieces. But this is extraordinary. It's one of the largest figurines that Jim Shore has done. This is the look of hand-carved wood, but it's resin. Can you talk to me about why resin is just, that's what you work with, that's what you prefer to work with?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that is important about the way, one of the things I want, before I forget,
okay, please.
I want to mention the fact that these are large pieces, and a lot of times people like these large pieces to go outside when they're decorating for a party, or when they're celebrating Halloween and they want to put something out on the porch along with their carved, figurine or their carved pumpkins.
Sure.
Or they might want something on the patio or in the garden or that sort of thing. These things, we coat all these large pieces with a UV inhibitor. So that means that it is safe to go outside, and it will be reasonably weather resistant, and it will be also resistant to the damage done by the ultraviolet radiation of the sun.
Because a lot of people will put them in a bay window, and all that sunlight goes through the window. It's still going to, have you ever looked at your curtains or your furniture gets faded? So that is really important to know. I never really realized that.
Yeah,
Jim.
so that's an important aspect. But so these things are safe to put out, to put outside. Now, as far as the material we use, the process that we use is, while it's all hand done, it's designed to duplicate the original as perfectly and as closely as we possibly can. That's why all of our molds, we use a medium density silicone mold so that we can get into all of the little crevices and all the little areas like that without having to have a rigid mold that would leave such a sort of severe parting line. And so that's the perfect material for our molding process. Then the material that we use is a resin that is a catalytic material. That means it's got several parts that you put together and that adjust the way it works, and it also creates the hardening process. And we combine that with ground marble.
Really?
Yeah, and it's ground. We grind marble into the consistency of like flour.
Wow.
And we mix that with the resin, and that gives us strength, and it also gives us something that when we etch it, it creates an eggshell type surface that allows the lacquer, when it's hand painted, I might add by brush, not airbrush or spray or dip or anything like that, but our artists, every stroke on here is done with a brush by an artist, and it allows that lacquer to adhere like nobody's business, because becomes part of the piece. So we feel that the resin that we use in our formulation is as good as there is anywhere in the industry to create something that is, if there's a fingerprint on the original, the fingerprint will be on here.
These are pieces where, when we're busy picking up laundry detergent and toilet paper at the store that also sells home decor, we sometimes gravitate towards and grab because it's quick and easy. But what you get here with Jim are true artist pieces. This is not manufactured, getting pumped out of machine from across the seas. These are true artists' work. This is owning a piece of real art that you have forever, that you pass down to generations. You write in your will who gets your Jim Shore collection and which pieces. That's what you do with art. And that's what so many of you have been collecting and loving. And this art speaks to you. When it's real art, it says something. And it says something different throughout the years at times. It always has a new surprise or element when you take a closer look at it. With the detail like this, that's why Jim has just delighted so many people for years, and why so many wait for this moment. And you're getting the big deal to have the 2019 new item that you want to get home to build upon your holiday display. Here's your chance to do it with the Santa. If you're a big Santa collector and you love the jolly old F and the ho 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 and the hustle and bustle of the holidays and the unwrapping of presents, and you have the little grandkids still in your life, then the Santa's the way you want to go. Or something more peaceful, symbolic, of memories of past, of hope for the